Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Altalight Mid from Merrell. This is one of their lightest hiking boots that they offer. Comes in at 1 pound 14 ounces and it's just an awesome boot. Let's get right into it. So the best way for me to break this boot down is to talk about the 4 parts of a shoe, which will be insole, midsole, upper, and outsole. Here we go. Alright guys, let's get into this boot review. We've got the butternut color is what this is called. This color you see, it's kind of a dark tan with gray with a black midsole, the butternut. You've also got solid black, which would be the second color. You've got stone, which is going to be gray with a little bit of blue on it. And you've got blaze, which is a bright orange and a little bit of yellow on that color, I believe. So those are the 4 colors. This boot weighs about 1 pound and 14 ounces. In my mind, that's really light, guys. This is probably their lightest packing height boot that they have on the market right now, and which is going to be really impressive because I like a lot of details about this boot. So the fact that they didn't cut corners to get it this light is really awesome. You know, as I'm holding this, it feels more like a basketball shoe, if I'm being honest. It's got that weight to it. It's balanced. It's not real heavy on the bottom of the boot compared to the top, so it's real balanced throughout the boot. And I think it's going to serve its purpose well. So let's talk about the upper. The first part of this shoe I want to talk about is the upper. And if you guys can see it, that's going to be this tan and gray part here. The upper is what holds your foot onto the shoe. Basically, it makes up the majority of the shoe and it keeps your foot in place. As we're talking about keeping your foot supported, this gray piece, Merrell calls that the Stratafuse exoskeleton. If you look at that pattern, it's kind of skeletonized, and that's just a rubber overlay that they've put onto this upper. It's a lot of it's covering the toe, which I think is great. You guys know as you're hiking or running, a lot of times your toes are the first point of contact. So with this rubber being placed over the front part of the shoe, it gives you a lot of protection. You know, in Texas we have to worry about cactus, mesquite thorns, things like that, and so anytime you can have some protection on your toe, that's a great thing. The tan part that you see here is a Ripstop nylon. It's going to be a stronger nylon. It's going to allow this boot to breathe well. You know, a lot of times with leather, it is going to be more durable to have leather, but it doesn't breathe as well. So the fact that this is a waterproof boot, that's something I want to talk to you guys about. A lot of times people think, well, as long as I can keep water out of my boot, then I don't have to worry about my feet getting wet. If the boot doesn't breathe well, then your feet are going to sweat. And since that moisture can't make it out of the shoe, your feet are going to end up wet, just like you were walking in water. So it's just as important to have a shoe that breathes well as it is to keep the water out. Next part I want to talk to you about is the outsole. That's going to be the bottom of the boot. That's what makes the most contact with the ground. That's where you get your tread. That's where you get your grip. And that's going to be important whenever it comes to hiking especially. A lot of the times in boots you will see larger lugs. You know, you'll have maybe 6 or 7 points of contact that are larger. They might be more aggressive than this. But if you get into a situation where you're on a side of a hill or something, and one of those lugs isn't able to catch in the right spot, then you're going to have an issue. You're not going to have the grip you need. So when they're talking about quantum grip, that's a lot of little points of contact. If you look right here, I mean, this thing's covered. It almost looks like a cleat, like a turf shoe or something. But I think that's going to be great because you've got all these little points of contact that will really help you from slipping whenever you're hiking up or down, or if you're on something wet. You know, a lot of times if you're just putting a lot of energy on one lug, then it's not going to get as much grip as if that same energy was dispersed throughout several points of contact. So that's the quantum grip technology. Basically, it's a lot of lugs placed throughout the boot, which will be really good for grip. So the third part of this boot I want to talk to you about is the midsole. And the midsole is found in between the upper and the outsole. So the midsole on this boot is this black piece that you see right here. In this case on the Altalight, it's made of EVA, which is a man-made foam. It's a real responsive part of the shoe. And you know, since it's made of EVA, being a foam, it's going to be comfortable. So when I say responsive, as this boot makes contact, it's making energy down. It's actually going to give you a little bit of bounce back up because of the way that EVA compresses and then decompresses. It's comfortable, it gives you support, and I have no complaints with EVA, so I think this boot is going to do well when it comes to the midsole of this boot. And the very last part of this shoe I want to tell you about is the insole, which can be found inside the shoe. Sometimes when we're talking about boots or shoes, the insole could be glued into the shoe, which is frustrating because that's something that can easily be upgraded at any time. If your shoes feel like they're starting to break down, a lot of people don't realize it's not the shoe that's breaking down, it's actually just the one part that I'm about to tell you about, which is the insole. And you know, that can be replaced. The integrity of the shoe is probably still there. You know, it's probably, the outsole's probably still got enough grip on it, the midsole's not broken down, and the upper has no issues at all. And the comfort that you're missing is from the insole. Unfortunately, that's going to be the worst part of this boot, in my opinion. It's not terrible. You know, I see this insole a lot in shoes and in boots. It's just a basic insole. It is comfortable. You know, it's probably going to be that way for a good 3 or 4 months. And then after that, it's probably going to start to compress, and this will be replaced. If I'd have to guess, I'd probably replace this in about 3 or 4 months, maybe even sooner. My only worry is because I've told you guys how light this boot is, 1 pound 14 ounces. If you start talking about a thicker insole, it can add weight to this boot, which we don't want to do. A good option for me is a memory foam insole. That way it's got the cushion and it's comfortable, but it doesn't add a lot of weight. So if you guys don't use memory foam insoles, be sure and check those out, and you can find them at your local shoe or boot store, I'm sure. But the rating on this insole is very poor. Everything else about this boot, I really like it. I think it's going to serve me well. It's going to be a boot that I can hike in. I'll probably work out in this boot just to see how well it lasts. And then also hunting, fishing, any outdoor activities, I'm going to put it through the ringer and see how it performs. So I probably have videos of me using this boot spliced in between these videos where I'm talking about the unboxing and the review. So those videos would be me testing this boot out, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you want me to do more reviews on product that I receive, then be sure and shoot me a comment and hit the like button, and I'll do some more reviews for you guys. So thanks for checking it out.